दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Express, University Station, Netaji Bhavan.
What is this here? What is this? I've been waiting for you for so long and now you come. Chalo, okay, now that you've come, we can start the show. Hello and welcome to Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Shaun Pollock and Harsha Bhogle. Namaste.
I thought that was our line waiting for you to come.
I'm sorry, looks like I jumped the gun. Attack is the best form of defense.
We'd got all our opening lines done.
Tell us anyway. I'll tell you some of the backstory because we're all friends, so I can tell you the backstory. I've essentially just arrived here about 20 seconds ago. 45 seconds ago. Just in time. So please tell people what was the welcome you had ready for them in case I had not made it.
Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. It's just the two of us and we're going to have a chat. We suddenly raised the standards. We're both under a lot of pressure today because I won yesterday, so I've got to live up to that.
Tell people what you won. A guessing game. For the third time in 26 attempts. Please give people context. But I honestly just want to say that because you both are older than me and I respect the two of you, if the two of you both want to have a chat and just want me to sit here and listen, I'll be happy to. It's the best seat in the house.
He's a young man.
She's not younger than me. Nobody's younger than me. I'm a baby. Well, the thing is that these two teams are also babies when it comes to winning points in this season because they don't have any. Well, they don't have many. When you look at the points table, you know what I mean. They are at 4 points out of 8 games. One of those teams we're just not used to seeing there. And the other, we didn't think we'd see there this season at all. In fact, all three of us had Hyderabad pegged as our playoff, not contenders, but playoff surety. Right, Polly?
Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, we got that one badly wrong. That's why I'm wearing this colour, grey and black, because
are you in mourning for your guesses?
Yeah, and as Harsha said off air, he said one's going to be totally in mourning, and the other one's still going to have grey clouds over them after their victory today.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty clever.
That was one of the lines we were practicing when you weren't here.
Yes, I like it. You know what? I should be late more often because this is great. It works out really well. I love that line.
You're very black too.
Yeah? I'm kind of dark blue because it's true. The skies are very dark for one of the teams and it's pretty much the dead of night for the other team, whoever loses today. Yeah. The one who wins today, basically, to give context to people, the one who wins today just has a whiff of a chance. Mathematically, they can still be in it. The other one, I think it's bye-bye birdie.
It is interesting if you look at that points table. There's already one team. What did you call? Bye-bye birdie.
Bye-bye birdie.
Bye-bye birdie, because the maximum Rajasthan can get to is 14.
Yeah.
And the maximum that the team loses today can get to is 14.
Yep.
And you see all those teams flying above. They're like all the other grades in my first accounting course where I was with Hyderabad and Chennai.
Oh.
It's looking a bit like that.
You were, at some time, you were like a backbencher in a class?
No. I was the bottom ranker in my management accounting course.
Really?
It was too tough, yeah.
Tough to believe, yeah. Tough to believe, right, Polly? Tough to believe that he'd be last in any class?
Very tough. Management accounting, very tough.
He's looking suspiciously at you, Polly. He doesn't believe you. We would like to see some report cards as evidence. Did they have report cards back
Sadly.
then? Okay.
It was official.
Oopsie, just checking. But yeah, one of them can just throw the report card away today. The team that loses can just throw the report card away because it's of no use.
And start to think about next year already. My gut feel is Chennai have already started talking about next year.
Yeah.
Sunrisers are looking a little more bullish and they're saying we can do what an RCB did last year. But what an RCB did last year is the exception. Because they did it once doesn't mean someone else can do it.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thought to go into thinking, look, let's just play 6 knockout tournaments. I know a team that won a World Cup thinking like that. Australia back in '99.
True.
They were in a similar position. They thought like that. So Sunrisers have to think like that. They have no choice.
But it's great because I think that both the teams and the team management, the conversation that's coming out, It's pretty much reflecting their style of play, right? Chennai, they're saying, oh, we're thinking about next year. So a little more conservative in their outlook, just like their playing has been this season. They've been on the field like that. And Hyderabad, a little more bullish, a little more aggressive, saying we can win 6 out of 6, which is how their style of play has been. So it's quite in line with how they're playing and how they're talking.
Yeah, too true. I mean, it's definitely the road less travelled, isn't it? I mean, you haven't seen, as we say, RCB's maybe one example of someone who's been able to do that. I just think of both those sides, if SRH don't win, I think they're going to become lethal. And anyone in the table will be looking, going, please, we don't want to play them, because they're out of the competition, and then they'll probably find some form and they'll cut loose and put you under immense pressure. But I think CSK at this stage, I don't think you'd mind playing them. I think they've got enough on the go there where they're uncertain about a lot of things. And as you say, they'll be the more conservative thinking about the future, whereas SRH are just going to keep coming. And they're thinking at some stage we're going to click, and then we're going to have a run of good games.
A Punjab kind of game. They're going to have a Punjab kind of game where Punjab thinks that, oh, we're done, we're home, and they just completely, they bludgeon them. Hyderabad takes the head off.
It's a valid point. The other day I saw Chennai play against Mumbai at the 1K day. 11 overs, 73.
Yeah.
They were just taking their time. They eventually finished 175, but they looked 35 short.
It's what Rajasthan got in the power play yesterday. They got 72.
Yeah,
and these guys got it in 10.
Yeah, and they lost.
Yeah, it's true. So that's what I'm saying. It's still not enough.
11 overs, yeah.
In today's T20 cricket, sometimes a 70-run power play is still not enough. A 70-run first half can just never be enough. It got knocked out so quickly. So that's the thing. So then is it safe to say that out of the two teams, I know it's tough always because we value both these teams. One's won 5 trophies, one's was a contender this year. Which one has been more disappointing to you?
For me, Sunrisers, simply because my expectations were much higher.
Fair.
I didn't think this year that CSK would make the playoffs. If you had told me they would be where they are and they're playing the kind of cricket they are, yes, I would have been surprised. But Sunrisers, I'm more disappointed by, because I thought they just had the strength, the power. They had almost everything to be able to be in the top 3 or 4 by now.
Yeah, and when you pick a side, I mean, from a management perspective, coaching perspective, you think, okay, what do we have to win? Probably 8 games.
Yes.
8 games gets us in. And then you think, and your batting lineup and your bowling lineup, you think, well, have we got match winners? And when you pick that team, you're probably going, Travis Head to win me 2, Abhishek to win me maybe 2, Heinrich Klaasen to win me 2. We're almost there. How do you sit with 2 victories after 8 games? It's it's a hard one to try and fathom out. It's just, I mean, that striking ability. I mean, the thing is, we've seen glimpses of it. It's not like someone's just had a shocker. There's been times where one of those guys has come off and you think, well, this is what we're used to. But they just haven't managed to string it together, which has been the real big surprise.
I mean, the other day I was mentioning it yesterday, I saw Heinrich Klaasen bat the other day. And I thought, where was he for the rest of this year?
Yeah.
Because suddenly people stopped in the commentary box area. People stopped what they were doing. They suddenly think, Klaasen's on a roll, man. What's he going to do next?
Yeah.
He's that kind of player. But so is Travis Head, so is Abhishek. So I can see where Paul is coming from.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You've seen Ishan Kishan hit 100 in the first game. You saw Abhishek Sharma with that innings against Punjab. You saw Heinrich Klaasen. So, like we say, they have the players. It's just not come together. Well, I think it's not come together is a very polite way of saying it. It's just been it's just self-destructive, right? And that's what is just so frustrating to watch from outside. You know they can do it, and yet it's like that bomb. You throw it, and some days it just explodes in your own hand, and it's exploded in their own hand 6 times, and just twice on the opposition. Can they do it today though against Chennai? They have won the toss, and they've put Chennai into bat. Now that anyway is pressure on Chennai, because Chennai is not, what is it, 180? They haven't gone above 180 this season.
No,
right?
They haven't looked like.
Yeah.
I don't think they've had the power game at the top. They needed someone like a Rachin Ravindra. They needed that Rahul Tripathi kind of player to give you 30 of 16 and get that innings going. So that hasn't happened. So they're just not getting that force at the top. And so even if they're getting a finish occasionally from Shubham Dubey, a couple of times from MS Dhoni, once Jadeja has gone for it, there's just too much to do to get past that 170, 180.
How much are they missing their captain, the designated captain?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking of it. How often have you looked at their lineup and think, well, what's the lineup going to be? And what numbers are they going to bat?
Yeah.
We don't really know. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. And that's the predicament that they've been in. There's obviously losing the skipper. other people maybe not going as well as they could. I think it's just been an unsettled season for them where they haven't managed to kick on. So, what team have they done? What have they done?
Yes, I was just going to ask you, how many changes do you think they've made today?
Chennai?
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Well, they've used 19
one.
people, haven't they, so
That's
far? So
right.
have we got another 20th? Is there a little Brevis?
Could be Brevis.
Yes, 3.
Yeah.
We got 3. There you go. We spoke about this yesterday. Devil Brevis is in. I like this 1, 2, 3. Remember, I was telling you last night, I think Rachin, Ravindra, perhaps end of the rope for him. If they are looking at planning, and that's what the noise is coming from the management, that's the sounds they're making, then this is looking to the future, right? So Sheikh Rashid, Ayush Matre, Devil Brevis. They've got Deepak Hooda back in again. Maybe they've seen something in the nets that they like, and they've given him a chance. Shivam Dubey, Ravindra Jadeja, MS Dhoni, Sam Curran's back in. Noor Ahmed, Khalil and Patirana. So again, now you look at that and you're like, what is this batting order going to be? Are you going to see MS Dhoni come to bat at 8? I don't want to see that.
No, I'm
Not
looking
again.
at that batting order and I'm thinking the Huda selection is, depending on which way you look at it, either a plea, a hope, or they're just saying, look, there's nobody else. Come on, you go and do it.
Yeah.
Because he's hardly scored a run. He came in as an impact sub in one of the games, got out for 1.
Yeah.
So he's literally just been a passenger. So you're looking at him and saying, okay, I'll take a punt. Maybe he'll come off today.
Yeah.
But they've gone open with young Ayush Matre, searching for that impetus at the top. They've given up on Rachin Ravindra, interestingly, because he's hot and cold. He's had 3 good innings, 3 or 4 poor innings.
But I mean, when you look at it, you say, you're opening, you're playing in the power play. His strike rate for the season has been 128. His average is what, 20 or something?
Yeah.
20, 25. Those are,
No,
I mean, it's a fair sample size.
They're not setting the tournament on fire.
Exactly. And they are underperforming. You think that 7, 8 games, what did he get finally? He's played 7 or has he played all 8? So he's played all 8. You play all 8 and those numbers, you're like, all right, you've had your chance. I'm a big fan of the player, but I think he just couldn't shift from ODI mode to T20 mode.
Yeah, little points out. There's a couple of things for me. First of all, as a one-day player, you've often got that little bit more time. Where you can just maybe chew up a few deliveries and you can find your form. In the Champions Trophy, I felt like he was an unbelievable touch. So when he walked to the crease, good surfaces in Pakistan. He's really coming on nasty. He could just go. And he's in that mind frame of being confident and he could play. I think when he's not feeling confident and maybe a little bit out of touch, the T20 format might be too quick for him. Where he has to play the shots earlier than he wants to, and he also doesn't find his timing. And I think also then obviously their home ground can be a difficult place to bat if you're not used to those conditions. You know, he's used to the ball more coming on. If it's just stopping, it maybe takes away from his confidence or his self-belief that I can execute these shots. So those might have been contributing factors, but he'll still be disappointed because you kind of feel he's experienced enough now to have made the adjustment and have produced.
As always, I think Paul is on to something. When he plays ODI cricket at the top of the order, he's got a 10-over power play.
Yep.
So even if he's taken 3 or 4 overs, he's still got 5 or 6 overs to maximize the rest of the power play. And that's why, if you see, I think he's at his best as an ODI player, but that would be true of almost every top order batter.
Yep.
ODI is where you want to bat. Test is not bad. If he's playing a fair number of games in New Zealand, 37 average is not bad. But see, there's a lot of T20 games now. He's played 80 T20 games.
We always we add up the average and the strike rate, right? And you come to a consolidated
it's
number.
Okay. It's
150.
Yeah.
For a top order,
but
batting in the power play?
Basically, 110 in a one-day international is good, but also look at his conversion. So he's gone 450s and 500s. And invariably, your strike rate increases as you go on in the innings.
Yeah.
So every time he's got himself a start in that format, he's kicked on and got a big score, and that's where your strike rate goes to the roof. Because 110 in a one-day international is good, but then the T20s...
That's a 330 game, so that's always a good score. All right, so kind of spoke about this last night, so I guess they've just got youth in the top 3 now. So their top 3 is what, collective age is less than Dhoni's?
But a big ask now. Yeah, exactly.
Kicks all of them.
But it's a big ask for Brevis. I think it's a big ask. I mean, I hope he goes well, just because I sort of know the kid, and he's obviously from South Africa. But I think what's also happened to him is he's kind of suffered at the hands of being a young protege who everyone thought was ABD number 2.
They start calling him Baby AB.
Yeah, Baby AB. And they got him in really early.
Yeah.
And in many ways, he kind of should just be launching his career now.
Yeah.
he's kind of, but now everyone's going to judge him. Because he's been around for 3-4 years, where you think, well, this guy's been around, we've been expecting, but he's been 18, 19, 20. It's only now where he's probably worked a little bit out about his batting, particularly in the other leagues he's played around the world. So I think he's starting to come into his own, but I just think this could be a big ask. It's
Has
a
he
pressure.
gone okay in first-class cricket?
Yeah, he's getting runs there. He's getting runs there, and in one-day cricket he's starting to dominate. And even in the SA20, he started to come into his own for MI Cape Town. I think he's got it. He's got it, but I think mentally he started to work it out. I just think it's a big ask. Change your franchise. Different kind of surface that he's used to. I mean, you know, that one's very different to a lot of the other surfaces in India. And coming in the pressure of other people not performing, it might be a big ask, but I just hope he gets off to a start and then we can see the best of him.
Yeah, MI looked after him very well. I mean, they picked him up very early and they threw him straight into the IPL. But he also went on some of these development tours that the franchises do quietly, you know, below the radar. They do a lot of these development tours.
Yeah.
So he was playing in England for a month and a half, 2 months, I think, with PP, with Parthiv Patel.
Yeah, Parthiv Patel was coaching that side, yeah.
So but they couldn't have him in this squad. But it's a big opportunity. What is his number, though? He's opened, he's batted 3. What is his number that's best suited for him?
Well, initially I thought he was a man who should go up front. And then he started to show that he could adjust his game plan because he kind of only had one gear. When he first walked in, it was, I got to smash it. And that was what was best suited to. When the field was in, he cleared the infield. But he's learned a little bit more, particularly how to play a spin a little bit better. I still actually don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I think he's actually more suited to coming in maybe 4 or 5, particularly in one-day internationals. But in the T20 format, 3 might be okay for him.
He could open today because Ayush Mhatre played at 3 in the last game. So he could open
we have to
and
see,
basically just slot in where Rachin was.
Yeah, I think Ayush Mhatre played 3 because they were opening with Rachin Ravindra. So he'd be very happy to open. But just a last word on Brevis. Mumbai Indians picked 2 young South Africans.
Yep.
One was Dual Brevis, one was another young kid called Tristan Stubbs. And I think they backed Brevis over Stubbs.
Yep.
But at the moment, I think it's Stubbs whose career has taken off a little bit.
Right.
But I'll tell you one thing. If those 2 kids become the players that you think they can become, and Stubbs is already, in my book, up there, wow, you're looking at 2 fine players for South Africa up there. But baby AB is such a cruel thing. How can a young kid, it reminds you of him, he's not AB.
It is the burden of branding, right? And we see that so much happening in
AB is
India.
one of the greats
as soon as we
of the
see a
format.
young player, and this has happened, I think it's happening a little lesser now, but you remember a decade back, 15 years ago, there was this hurry to call this person the next legend. And just fill in the blank with whichever name. Remember this happened to Prithvi Shaw. Prithvi Shaw has suffered the burden of branding and he's had his own other problems as well. But the burden of branding, which is why I remember Virat right in the beginning of his career when he was going off, he would just nip it in the bud. If anyone tried to compare him to Sachin, saying you can get his records and everything, he would just say, who are you comparing me to? Are you nuts? Like, that's a legend. That's the god of cricket. Please do not compare me to that. I think you just have to be vocal about it then.
And he's worn the same number as AB on his back, 17. I mean, that was, you get caught up in everything and think, oh, well, let me put AB's number on my back. So it'll be interesting to see what number he's got for Chennai.
You're not doing yourself any favors by doing that. Stop it already. Okay, let's look at the impact players. They're going to get a bowler in. Who could it be? Could perhaps be Kamboj, could be Ashwin. I guess they'll probably see how the surface is playing, what it is.
I think last game it was meant to be Kamboj, but they saw a little bit of help for Jacks and the others, and so they changed and got Ashwin in as the impact sub in the last game. So I think it's not bad. They'll wait and see. They'll see how it goes, but it'll be either of those 2.
Yeah, they've got enough batting, so even if they're in trouble, they don't get an impact.
I also
sub
like
as a
Sam
batting.
Curran back. I think Sam Curran is a better player than we've seen so far.
Yeah.
He's just gone off the boil a little
And
bit.
good, and a good bowler for that surface. It's a good bowler. You can use that surface whenever if it's got a little bit,
anything that's
stopping
holding,
a bit.
I mean, you would look back to his performance in Australia, where he was player of the tournament in that T20 World Cup. The key to that was big fields, and he can bowl those back of a length slow balls, and people try and hit him, and they get caught on the fence. It's a similar kind of thing that can happen on this surface, because back of a length slow balls can sit, and then they don't come on with a nice pace, and you might miss time, and you might get caught. So definitely does suit him, but I think he's obviously struggling to find where he's fitting in again. There was franchises who kind of built their team around him, from a selection, and they bought him and said, hey, he's going to be our main man and we'll fit anyone else around him. He's now taken a step back, and now gets this opportunity again. So let's see if he can find it.
I like that he's balancing the baby faces in this team, which is always full of more senior folk. Right now, there's enough baby faces there. Sam Curran, Noor, Matre, Brevis, Sheikh Rashid. They're going half and half now with the youngsters. They are thinking of the future.
Sheikh Rashid is the interesting one. His reputation of what we saw in the last game is that he's a very correct batter. You know, he gets behind the line. He's that kind of batter. I don't know if he's going to give you 40 or 18 balls any day.
Yeah.
So I think he's a very CSK player, but he's got to get out of that mold. He's a very proper, good batter that we've been hearing on the domestic circuit for a long time, just not made the step up.
I love how Harsha gets so excited when he's talking about getting in the line. Have you seen? He gets so excited with classical stroke play. He's like, so excited. I love it. How it's like a child, much like half of Chennai's team. They're all teenagers. So they've got the hatchlings and they've got, what did they call them a few years back when they won? Dad's Army. Remember they were calling them the Dad's Army. Brutal, man. But they won it. Yeah, they won the trophy 2 years ago. All right, Hyderabad, we thought they would be contenders this year. Can they switch it on today? Harsha, you called it yesterday. Kamindu Mendes coming into the team. So he's in there. This is, of course, their bowling team. They've got Mohammad Shami back. So Mohammad Shami is there, as is Jaydev Unadkat, Harshal Patel, Zishan Ansari, Pat Cummins. Kamindu Mendes will bowl. He's two bowlers, of course. He's his own impact sub. He's right hand and he's left hand.
That Nitish Reddy has to start bowling at some point. He was given the go-ahead by NCA. And when I met him 5 or 6 games ago, he said, 2 more games, I'm ready to bowl. There's still a little pain on the side, but I'll be ready to go in 2 more games. But he hasn't bowled at all. Another victim of the impact sub.
Yeah.
If there was no impact sub, he would be bowling. I mean, he's bowled for India in Test cricket.
Correct.
So, another impact sub, another victim of the impact sub. But yeah, you can see they've got 4 right-hand
bowlers. Did he open
bowlers.
the bowling in one test? Did he not open the bowling? Just check that. I think
It is a side strain, hey?
Yeah.
It was a side strain. His injury.
Yes, it was an injury.
Those are one of the hardest ones to come back from because, you know, if you've got like a joint or a hamstring or something, you can kind of push through. This little boy, whoa, I tell you what.
Had few yourself?
Yeah, I just had the one, but it honestly takes you like almost 2 months to totally believe in it. Because you know what an impact it has. I mean, once you do it, you can't sneeze, you can't laugh, you can't tell jokes.
Jeez, you can't laugh? That must have been tough.
Yeah, it must have been tough. But it's one of those ones that I can understand where he says, no, I'll be back. And then you go to the nets and you think, ooh, is it coming back? Am I going to pull it again? So I do get it, but
he's enacted a side strain so well.
Yeah, it's really cool. We should take you to one of those medical colleges where they say, this is what happens. This is how a person acts.
And you know what you go for? When you go and get it scanned, you go for what do they use? The ultra...
The pregnancy machine.
Yeah, the pregnancy
detector.
They check you. So you check whether you got a baby and whether you got a side strain.
The sonography.
Yeah.
It was yes to 1. I guess. Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
This is the reason why you didn't answer any of my calls those 2 months.
Yeah.
That's why I keep cutting my call. I was like, Polly's being rude. All right, their impact subs, they will get a batter in. I think that's Ishan Kishan was not on that list, right?
No, he was, I think.
Ishan Kishan is there.
Travis Head, yeah.
Travis Head was. Oh, of course,
Can
we
you
spoke about it
imagine?
yesterday. Travis Head got a good gig. Sit
Can you
around.
imagine he's going to go back to play for Australia, Travis Head, and he's going to say, what's this fielding thing about?
Yeah.
Do I have to do both?
He's like, why am I standing for 20 overs? What is this nonsense?
Never mind that. It might be a one-day international series. 50 overs. It's like us commentators. When we do the T20 matches, all of a sudden come to a 50. Yo, this is taking long time. He'll be thinking it's taking double the time.
Why do you think I retired from one-day internationals? It's just way too long. But I'll tell you something. The team that loses today, this tournament is going to feel way too long for them because there's just no chance they can do it. And it's just, I don't know, when I look at this, when I look at these two teams, again, when you get these do-or-die situations, probably let me ask you, because multiple teams, many times you get into tournaments, when you're in this do-or-die situation, is there any talk in the team at that point? Do you even need to say anything? What do you feel? How does the dynamic work?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's now trying to pull the rabbit out the hat. They're trying to come up with that speech that's going to motivate you. They're trying to come up with those facts and figures. But it actually boils down to pride of performance. I mean, as an individual, every time you walk over that rope and you've got the colours of whoever you're representing, you've got to put your best foot forward. And it's pride of performance. It's believing in your talents, showing your talents as best you can. And there's no doubt there'll be talk from both of the camps. Listen, if we win this one, then we can start getting on a run and there's a chance of qualification. Whether that's a reality, I very much doubt it from their position. But you're looking for something small. And often it's just small things in these tournaments that means you're on the wrong side. Look at RR. I mean, they've had 3 games where they should have won it. If they'd won those 3, they'd be sitting pretty. So it will be a case in point of they just trying to do everything they possibly can. But sometimes in these tournaments also you get that mindset of, oh, we're done. And once the team, if that seeps in, you've got no chance, because some people will believe, oh, there's no chance of doing 6 games, or we're not playing well enough, or the team combination's wrong. And those negativity kind of seeps through the whole side. So hopefully for one of them, it's not the case now.
Because if you believe, you might win or you might lose.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe, no force on earth can get you to win.
You've lost already.
You've gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to quantify. Guy, can you tell a person crossing the line, look at him and say, does he have belief? Does he not have belief? You can't tell. Maybe you can tell from the performance and the approach. But if you don't have belief, no force on earth can.
But one thing I can tell you categorically, that in every single team there's bad laundry. You know, everyone talks about, there's issues. The teams that are winning, that laundry is under the carpet. The teams that are losing, that comes to the surface. And then you get that corridor talk with, look, I don't think this guy should be playing. Why are they going that option? That was a bad decision. And those things kind of permeate through the team. And it's just human nature, isn't it? I mean, we all kind of try and preserve ourselves, look after our best interests. And that's unfortunately when you get the team going in different directions. But when you're winning, the confidence is up, everything goes according to
I just feel that for an IPL team, coaching and management is just about one thing, which is avoiding mutiny, right? Because it's such a big squad, right? The support staff, then you have families, you have friends. It's just such a big kind of carnival that moves along. What Polly's saying can happen just literally in an instant.
But I'll give you 2 examples. So is in matches, we always used to have the policy at Mumbai is if you have one bad over, get someone on who's going to make sure they do a decent job. So you experienced bowlers. Because if you have 2 or maybe 3, you're in trouble. The game runs away from you. It's the same thing. When you're going to lose games in this tournament. You can't win them all. It's impossible. When you lose one, make sure as hard as you can to win the next one, because it's when you go back to back to back that those kind of things start to infest into your side.
Like we spoke yesterday and said, why didn't Archer come to bowl like the 12th to the 13th?
Exactly. That was my exact point of you got a partnership running and they just kind of stuck with a defensive mindset. You've actually got to hit fire with fire and try and get a wicket, and then you can go and bring your other bowlers back on. But you can't just allow things to simmer, because if they do, you end up on the wrong side.
Well, one of these teams we know we're not going to get a change of mindset from them. That's Hyderabad. Looking at the team changes, do you think we'll get a change of mindset today from Chennai? I'd love to see that.
That's what they'd like to do. Whether they actually end up doing it, we'll wait and see.
So I'm saying, even with Hyderabad, we've seen the result has not gone in their favour, but we know what the process is and we know what the thought is, because that's very evident. Do you think we'll see that change in thought today, irrespective if it comes off or not? Do you think we'll see that change in thought?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
And I think that is why Matre is straight at the top. Young kid, we're going to back you. You go for it. So let's put that side up again and let's see how many of those players exist. I just wonder if they even want to send someone like a Curran up and tell him, you've done this before, you've batted 3-4 in franchise cricket.
Of course.
And I think he did really well in one of the franchises. I'm not sure if it was South Africa or whether it was IL-20. So I just wonder whether they might say, Sam Curran, go up and play as you want. And let's see how we go about it, because then you've got Sheikh Rashid, Ayush Matre, Dual Brevis, Shivam Dubey. There is power there now.
Yes, absolutely.
There is power there now.
So we'd like to see a lot more of that, because we've seen some spells of play when Chennai is batting where you just feel like it's just slowly floating away from them over
it's
by
like
over.
The first half of a movie before the interval.
Yeah, it's just a build-up.
Yeah.
See, come on, tell us, in your ear, they've walked out onto the field. Who's coming out at 1 and 2? Producer?
Wait, I can see Sheikh Rashid and I see Ayush Matre.
Okay. Because I was just thinking maybe Brevis, just a fresh mind, clear thought, go and whack it.
Just remember what I said last night. I was like, I want to see Sheikh Rashid and Ayush Matre, because their combined ages are definitely less than MS's.
Yes.
They definitely are. Who is today playing his 400 T20 international T20 game. 400? Is this a joke? 400?
And between Sheikh Rashid and Ayush Matre, how many? I don't think
One sec.
I think
Between-
it's Ayush Matre's second game.
Sir, between Sheikh Rashid and Ayush Matre, they haven't watched 400 T20 games.
Fact.
Forget playing them.
Fact.
Right? They haven't been around for that long. I think it's just
As
spectacular.
long as they don't call him uncle on the field, you're fine. Uncle
How
the
would
bat.
they, no, I'm sure not uncle, but how would they not call him sir?
Wouldn't they not call him Dhoni Kaka?
Dhoni Kaka, like we call you Polly Kaka. Love it. But so many great moments with MS Dhoni playing the 400. We'll talk about that later in the show, maybe after the game is over. Right now, I think we've got a little bit of business. It's brutal business. 2 pieces, one for you and one for us. The one for you is the joy factor question. The one for us is trying to guess what the score will be. Here's the question. With regards to England cricket, what unique event took place in the New Zealand versus England test in Christchurch in 1992? I don't know. I was just a baby. So I have no idea. I was a baby. Baby. I have no idea. Do you know? I love Christchurch though. What a great place it is. I love Christchurch. I had a great time there. You know the answer.
No, I'm focused on winning, you see.
Look at him, man. He's like the eye of the... It's the eye. He's got it. He's got it right there.
Listen,
Come on, Arjun.
I understand CSK's position because 3 out of 26 and I'm chirpy.
Come on, you can do this.
Pitch report.
Yes, tell us.
Pitch report. Why did I tell you?
Is it low and slow?
Dry and similar to what we've seen previously. Slightly on the slower side, bit too paced. Bowlers will use change of pace, little bit of spin. Might be tricky, says Simon Dool and Michael Clark.
173.
179.
166.
16. Oh,
And if it doesn't work, Simon's buying all of us a drink.
1 sec.
So now
You
after...
have already seen that Sheikh Rashid is out.
Is he out? I have no idea.
Yeah.
He's out already.
Yeah, and Sam Curran has walked in to basically open.
Oh.
Coming second ball, you're coming to open.
So there you see, Sam Curran is at 3. We're not bad.
It's at 3.
We can.
Yeah. Sheikh Rashid after all. But anyway, I guess intent. We'll take some points in that.
We haven't seen, but we hope it was intent.
We hope
How
it
did he
was.
get out though?
How did he get out?
I don't know. Just and Mohammad Shami's
Shami's
got
got
a
him.
wicket first ball.
Shami
Got it slip.
Slip? What is this, the first morning of a test match?
Did he get Shami get that thing going again?
I think he got it. I think that's what he got. I think, come on. Yes, you can't do this, Shami. You're not in England already. What are you doing? Yeah? Stop bowling like the kid like that. He's not expecting that to happen. But we'll stick with our score guesses.
Yeah.
173, I said? 177?
173, 179, 166.
166. All right. Let's see what happens. Simon Dool, we have brought our guesses down because of you. So if that doesn't happen, there will be hell to pay, my friend. That's all we have time for. We're going to see you in Cricbuzz Combox after the 10 over mark. So do join us then. Big thank you to Shaun Pollock and Harsha Bhogle. They're here with us all evening. So do join us when we come back on Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction,
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Express, Brevis Station, Netaji Bhavan. Cricbuzz.